It's time to get my chocolate. These are the flowers that Luke's made so far. He's got to make one for today. This is from his advent calendar. Now I need to do day, is it 4? Yes, yeah. I need to do day 4. Where is day 4? Oh, 2 little balls. Oh my god. Oh! Okay, I'm about to go get my nails done because they're atrocious. I'm probably just going to get them removed because I honestly just want to save money so I can actually buy Christmas presents for people, and these are just awful because I'm going to go climbing this weekend, but not in these. Alright, I just got my nails done and look, I'll show you, but just warning, they look horrendous because all I did was got them removed and it was $20 and yeah, like they look awful and they feel awful, they feel weak. They're not the shape I usually go for either, so I'll cut them down more later, but this is them. They literally look like ogre nails, but that's okay. I'll probably, like, they obviously like need a rest because like, I think it's biab, is that what they call it? The whatever, I don't know, that goes on top. Like it's, when they shave it away, of course it's gonna shave away some of your nail as well. Probably, right? I don't know. I wanted to go over all of the books that I read from November. I'm not gonna give like a full in-depth review, but I'll give like my overall impression, I suppose, because I think I had a pretty good month of reading. I think I read 8 books. Let's have a look-see, shall we? I'm gonna go get them all off the shelf and then we'll chat them over. Okay, this is my stack of books that I'm going to talk about, at least. I can't overall say that I've read them all, but I will explain it. This is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, hear me out. First one I read for the month, I actually started on the 31st of October, I believe. Yes, 31st of October, finished it on the 1st of November. It was a quick read. Well, it wasn't quick, it took me a while, but like, I went away, I took myself away for the weekend and I just read, pretty much. No, that's literally what I did. And I'm a lot more on the second day. So I zoomed through Atmosphere. It is probably still my favourite book of the year. The second runner-up is also in here, but amazing. This is my first Taylor Jenkins read book. I loved it. I've got some tabs in there and I've got a beautiful edition as well that has the sprayed edges, and it's the hardcover. So that was the first book I read, and then I straight away went on to First Time Caller, and I think I really liked it. I was expecting to like it more than I actually did for some reason, and I think that made it seem like a bit of a disappointment, but then with some time I realized, no, I did enjoy it. It's just the fact that it was very hyped up online, and it was like 5 stars by everyone that I saw it by. So then the fact that I was not like overly excited by it every moment of the reading time made me feel disappointed, but that's my own fault. So I've since learned from that to not, indulge in too much outside voices of a book until I've read it. Like, get enough to know, okay, that sounds interesting, stop there, read it, enjoy it for what it is, rather than for what I think it should be. So having had the time since then, I've thought about it more, and occasionally I'm like, yeah, you know what, it was a good book and great writing and everything, and I love the cover of this one as well. So this was the next book that I read, and then I went on to Fourth Wing. I liked it more than I thought I was going to. My partner has recommended this to me for a while. I read all of ACOTAR. I started reading that when he started reading Fourth Wing, I believe, and like the whole series. And then he's gone on and read ACOTAR, so I was like, it's only right. Then I go on and read Fourth Wing. And I liked Fourth Wing, loved it actually, a lot more than I thought. I was like, oh, I don't know if I like dragons, but I loved it. It was funny, and I liked the way it was written. I liked the storyline. I liked the romance part of it. It was great. And then I started to read Iron Flame, and I spoke about this in a different vlog where I did get, I think it's like 130 or so pages into it. I wasn't enjoying the reading part of it, but I was like, I still kind of want to know what happens. So, and then I indulged in my first audiobook. I got, I think, a couple chapters through that, and I'm not gonna listen to it anymore. I just haven't been. So I'm just not excited by it. I think ultimately fantasy is not my favorite genre. thus far, as you might assume by a lot of the books that I have been reading, and reading at a faster rate than fantasy, I suppose. I like it, but I think I like romance to be a bigger part of the plot, and it hasn't been as much in this one. But I still, you know, great writing. I love the writing, but I didn't finish it yet. But I think I'll be going more audiobook because it's just taking me longer to read as well, which makes me less excited to read, because as it is, I'm not a fast reader per se. It's all subjective, of course, but this, I am particularly slow for my standard, which makes me just not as excited to read it. And then the next one I read was the Holding Up the Universe by Jennifer Niven. And it is a YA novel, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, YA. And it's great. I knew that I was gonna like it for some reason. I knew I was interested in the concept because, fun fact, I actually was gifted this. I'm pretty sure I remember being gifted this when I was 14 or 15. That's when it came out. So, and I remember being as young as possible. So like that's the youngest I could have been. So I started reading it, but I had a lot of self-doubt, which is ironic because this book would have actually freaking helped me. I had so much insecurity and like low self-esteem. So that made me feel like I was too stupid to read. I like obviously don't like identifying with this even now, but I would call myself a slow or a bad reader. Like I couldn't read. I was always behind everyone else in class, or at least I admitted to being. I was the only one that seemed far behind in class with reading, at least. And yeah, I even had my mum like read to me the books that we had to read for school because it was just like something that felt really hard to do, but I think it was perpetuated by my own self, you know, deprecating thoughts and words against myself. So I knew that I wanted to pick this back up because I was very interested in the actual story behind it and like the from what I remembered of it. And I mean, it tells you on the blurb itself that one of the characters has, and I won't be able to pronounce it, don't remember what it's called even, but it'll be in here. It has a condition, I suppose, where they don't recognize faces. So of course that might make you feel very lonely because you can't even recognize your own mum's face or even your own face in the mirror. So it was a very interesting concept. I loved it. Great book. And also wished that my younger self did read it because it might have actually helped with her insecurities, but then we wouldn't be here today, now would we? Next book I read, T.L. Swan, The Stopover. So it's a part of the Miles High Club series. I bought the whole series with the sprayed edges, and I love like the sprayed edges, it continues from that image around the side, and it was also a really good book. This whole like month has been like pretty good, really good books. And I really liked it. I'm excited to read the next one. I just don't want to, like, what I have learnt as well with my time reading is when there is spice in books, and especially on the higher end, the more frequent end of spice or more intense end of spice, I don't want to read too many of them back to back because then I kind of get sick of the I get sick of the spicy scenes and it feels like too much for me, but it's just because I'm reading too many of those books back to back. It's not because of the book itself has too much. Maybe it is for my liking, but it's all, you know, subjective, of course. Every opinion on reading books is. But that was my experience. And in the past, I have felt like, oh, I'm kind of sick of reading spice because I liked it once in ACOTAR. And then I was like, okay, let me buy all the spicy books. I did. And now I realize, oh, actually, I like emotions and I mean, there can be emotions in sex, of course, but I like romance, and yearning is a word that has been thrown around a lot, so I like using it now. I like yearning, and I like also another thing to focus on within the book. So a lot of the books that are rated even higher, like even if I love the romance and whatnot, if there's another storyline in there that I care about, then I rate it even higher. They did have another storyline in here outside of the actual romance, which was pretty interesting, and I liked the setting, I liked like the city vibes, and I love billionaire romances. So this was great, and also I'm excited because the Miles High Club, it's, you know, based on like a brother each book, I suppose. So they're all surely billionaires, so that means I'm probably going to enjoy all of them. But again, don't want to read them back to back, or else I might get sick of the spice. That was the next book I read. And then I went on to Alice in Wonderland. So as you can see, I'm like alternating between like spice and young adult. So there's no spice in it. So I read Alice in Wonderland. I read like the first part of it. So this is where you can say like I didn't finish the book, but I finished the first story. So whatever you want to categorize that as, I just say that I've read the first story. So it's essentially half the book. Yeah, read the first story, and it's hard to really say how much I liked this, because if it wasn't a nostalgic movie, I probably wouldn't have read it or wouldn't have gotten far, because it is weird. Like, the writing is cool, and I don't think I would have understood it if I hadn't already seen the movie and known the story. I think I would have just been weirded out, but I think that's the point. Like, the point is that it's mad, they're mad, and like if you've seen the movie, like the Mad Hatter obviously is a big thing, person in it, and yeah, like I will try not to say any more, but if you've seen the movie, it'll make this really fun to read, because you're like, oh wow, this is the original kind of, I guess, script of it. I assume it's the original, I actually don't know, but it's a classic, so you would think so. So yeah, read that, liked it for the nostalgic vibes more than anything. Next one I read, one of my favorites of the year as well, The 9-Month Contract, or just 9-Month Contract by Amy Dawes. And this one, I didn't realize until I got to the end of the book, is a series. And I think I have spoken about this in a vlog a couple of vlogs ago. I went and bought the other two in the series immediately, and they actually had the sprayed edges, which is fun, but now this one doesn't. So I'm like, I have this one faced out like that, but then the others are faced out with the sprayed edges, but that's okay. It's kind of like works well like that, because then you can actually see what that series is rather than just sprayed edges that you're like, what is that? Anyway, very excited to read those other two, but again, same concept. I don't want to read too much spice or even romance, like heavy romance plots back to back. But this was really interesting. Like, I find relationships and like life choices and psychology, I mean, probably most people that read books find that interesting, but yeah, I find all that interesting. So this unique kind of storyline of like surrogacy, and this isn't giving anything away, it's literally on the blurb, it's just interesting, and it's different, unique. As far as I'm concerned, I've never seen this before. Not that I've read that many books total at all, but anyway, I haven't heard of a life concept like this, so I find it very interesting to learn about people's backgrounds, why they make certain choices, and this one just hit. Like, this one was amazing. Like, I found it really interesting getting to know these characters and their past, as well as the romance, because obviously, yum, love romance. The next one I read is a short book I devoured within a 24-hour period, I'm pretty sure. Got quite a few tabs in there as well. It was a book that I picked up because I thought it would inspire me. Given how my mental health has been, I guess the last year, but like more so in the last few months, and increasingly so, therefore I picked this book up because, you know what, I'm like, I need to help myself, and this I feel like will help. I just thought it would inspire me and bring hope and perspective into my life that would, you know, help me help myself, because obviously reading a book's not going to change your life, you've got to change your life. But I felt like I was lacking hope, and I felt like I needed some inspiration, some words that hit different to everything that I see on social media, which is just consistently the same shit. And I'm honestly just get pissed off when I go on social media half the time, so I don't even make it to any inspirational shit. So this was really cool to read, and it was like a story but also an inspirational kind of moral across the whole thing. Like, it's not a romance. It's called The Lucky Ride. I didn't even say what it's called, but it's called The Lucky Ride, and it's actually originally written in Japanese and then translated to English, but it's still set in Japan, Japanese names and everything. So it's also my first time reading one of those kind of books where they've been translated, and I think it was actually fine for the most part. Like, the only thing that caught me off guard at first was the point of view. The fact that the point of view wasn't from a character, whereas like pretty much all the books I've been reading has been like, here's this character's POV, then here's this character's POV, as in like at the top of the chapter it says the person's name of the POV that it is, or if it doesn't have that, it's given that it's the main character. And even in Fourth Wing, I remember being confused for the first like 1.5 pages. I was like, who is talking? But then eventually I realised, and I thought it was a man at first for some reason, maybe just because I've heard more about a male character in Fourth Wing than a female character, because, you know, they're hot, and on Book Talk that's a big selling point in books. So yeah, I was like, who is this? Is this a boy or a girl? I don't know. Who's talking? And eventually they said the name, like, oh, okay, I know who's talking. But this one, I was confused for a bit because I thought there was more people in the scene than there actually was, because I would just assumed that it was from a person, like a character's perspective, but it wasn't. It's like narrator perspective. And then once I got the hang of that, which was not that long, I suppose, I loved it and devoured it very fast read. And then I finished off the month kind of with this one. This is another book that I can't really categorize that I finished it within the month, because I started it within the month, but I finished it, when did I finish it? I'd finished it December 1st or 2nd. I don't remember. I feel like I finished it December 2nd, but I could have been the 1st. Anyway, I started it and read at least half of it in the end of December. So really liked this book. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this was the second TJR book that I've read, and really liked it. This was like probably another runner-up of one of my favorites for the year, as with the 9-month contract. But I think Atmosphere still takes the cake. But TJR, I'm just going to say that because I'm going to butcher her name every time. TJR is definitely now my favorite author. I don't really think I had one before. I don't know. But there's many here that I like. This I love. I love her writing style, but also the things that she's interested in enough to then write a book about, to then educate people, but also tell a story that I'm assuming is completely made up, but still, like, I feel educated at the same time. I feel smart for reading and liking this book. I can picture all of the 2 books that I've read from her clearly as a movie, and I'm really excited to read a lot more from her, all of them, in fact. And then I will go and watch Daisy Jones and the Six, I think it's called, after I read that book. Actually, that was referenced in this, Daisy Jones and the Six, and I'm excited to understand all of the references, because apparently she makes references to her other stories in pretty much all her books. And because Atmosphere was the earliest or the latest book that she's just read and released, but it's the only book that I had read so far, apart from this one now, I wonder how many references are in that. And I was thinking, like, I wonder if she's made a reference in that to this, but I just haven't noticed because I forgot and didn't know what to look out for, I suppose. So I kind of want to reread Atmosphere at some stage, but I think I want to wait until I forget more about it. But yes, anyway, this was my last book that I started reading, at least for the month, and loved it so much. I definitely recommend. It made me love tennis. She, as an author, makes me love whatever the fuck she writes about. Recommend her as an author. And that is all I read for November. I'm going to finish this vlog off here because I'm just going to have a chill night reading my book. I will not be finishing it tonight, I really doubt, but I'll probably finish it tomorrow, of Good Spirits. I'm going to finish that, fix up my nails a bit maybe, have some food, and have a chill night with my partner because I still have to start work early tomorrow. So I want to get as much sleep as I can. I don't feel like I need a nap at least though, even after a 3:22 a.m. wake up. You'd be surprised how little tired I feel. I feel kind of tired, but like feel alright. I think it's mostly just motive to read, and I don't want to sleep because I want to read. But yes, thank you for watching this video. I believe it is Vlogmas Day 4, so I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you tomorrow, I suppose. Alright, have a good day. Bye.